even though they lost last night, I think that locker room is just chock full. I mean, it stinks of professionalism.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, I mean, look at the way that Brian Branch ends the game.
Yeah, today.
But then the way he answered to his actions.
Right.
And, I mean, was so proactive in going out there, calling himself childish.
Yes.
And explaining why it was done, but just forthright in his apology.
Good
You just
example.
don't see that from many young athletes these days.
Yeah.
That's that culture.
And you can't help.
JMO did the same
but you
thing,
can't-
too.
Who did?
JMO
JMO,
does the same
great point.
stuff.
Yes,
He takes
yes.
accountability as a young player.
Can't help but wonder if during that 10-minute period, shutdown period, before Dan Campbell walks to the podium, that he said something to Brian Branch. Wouldn't surprise any of us, right? That Dan Campbell would have handled it that way. And
What
good for
happened,
Brian
man?
Branch. Good
What the hell happened out there, man?
And, I mean, it's a good example of the impact that I think he's made. Here's my concern for Brian Branch, and I love him. I do. I think he's a phenomenal player.
He's a hothead.
It's getting to be we're getting borderline where it's getting a little much.
New age Rasheed Wallace, man.
I love that one.
And it's like, yeah, but Rasheed Wallace did it as a veteran, and people just thought it was, Bull, don't
No,
lie.
he did that from the day he got in the league. He did that at UNC. He always was that way.
No, he wasn't
And
like that at UNC. No, he wasn't.
He was pretty
attitude
demonstrative.
Attitude is one thing. What he did later on, and
I think
you can't
a
say
lot of
anything
it had
bad
to be-
about him because he was a missing piece to the championship, and he's a hell of a player.
Oh, I'm not talking
absolute
smack,
hell of a
but I
player.
mean, he had
No, I'm
Dean-
saying me.
Okay.
Can't because he's a hell of a player, but don't tell me that 20+ technicals in a season doesn't get old.
Yeah,
Because
getting
it may be
suspended
funny
after
for
him.
us, whoop, 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 because then we just go, and then let's find the car, we're going home after the game, whereas the coach has got to be like, holy crap.
He becomes a liability.
Yeah.
If you have a player that's a hothead and continues to do things like that, then as a coach, like, how much more can you trust your player?
If you, depending on your leadership.
And if you're an all-pro player.
And the best teams are all player-led. If you have leadership, you can handle that. If you're a young coach or you're a coach who has a team that isn't very good, that is a no-no. Yeah. It's really hard to have something like that.
Bad boys.
They had internal leadership.
Bad boys.
They-
The Lions are the bad boys. Now, listen, they came for Kirby last year. They're coming for the Honey Brancher this year. That's all fine, man. Bring that swagger. Make people worry
That's
about
not
you.
swagger. That's stupidity. Dude.
Listen,
There's a huge
it
difference.
may be stupidity.
What he did was stupid.
And I get it,
and
but I'm
selfish.
okay with it. Well, you know what? What Lambeer and what Mahorn and what Worm did, it was stupid sometimes too. But you brought that edge, and I'll tell you what, when you line up against these Lions, I'm okay with it. Especially with the way that he responded afterwards. Now, if he's suspended for this big matchup on Monday night, then you really have a point.
Oh, well, and then are you okay with it still?
Yes, I'll say yes.
I was
'cause
because-
I love the
but-
Honey
depends
Branch.
on
The
if
reason
he
you're
plays or
okay with it
not.
is because it doesn't affect you.
No, I'm
It
not
doesn't
okay
affect
with
you
it,
at okay.
Shep. I'm not
And
okay with it.
It's a selfish play.
No, it's a Detroit play on my
No,
end.
it's not.
Listen,
Oh, for
no,
God's
for
sake.
me as a Detroiter, as watching all of our Detroit teams
Yeah.
be badass bullies, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, look, and for me too, like I get it from that standpoint, but we also have to understand that even with Sheed, we said, bro, you can't get tossed out of games.
Not
You
in the
can't get
playoffs.
suspended.
Not in the
those
playoffs.
are
Regular
things.
season.
He missed a game in the playoffs because of it.
And that's why we
That's what I'm
gave him
saying.
hell
So-
for
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah.
there's a
It's a
time
fine line.
you want to be badass like Philly used to be with the Broad Street Bullies. That's fine. Back in the day, that's one thing. Now it's a little different. I think it's irresponsible. I think it's selfish. I think it's stupid. And he should apologize. And this coming from a guy who loves Brian Branch.
But I
okay?
think that
But you're okay with it just because of
I'm
what
o-
it means for the city of Detroit.
I'm
I want to know what it
okay
means
with
for the
it be-
Lions.
I'll continue.
And I am
for what it
I
means
am more
for,
okay with it.
For what it
than
means
not.
for the city of Detroit, and even more importantly, to answer your question, what it means for the Lions is this is a squad that went on the road to a team they beat in Arrowhead the last time they saw them, a team that's been to 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, if I'm correct, who's won 3 of them, and they got outfoxed last night. Lions are a better team in my opinion, but they got outfoxed. They got outsmarted. You look what Andy Reid did. He didn't throw the ball past 20 yards. They dinked and dunked and took advantage of our injured secondary.
Right.
And nobody could tackle on the edges, and that's all that they did. And they outsmarted us.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game, they ran their mouths. They got us frustrated. We get a ticky-tack idiot's play by Brian Branch, which he apologizes for. Mike gets suspended for. Mike cost us him next week on Monday. However, this is that stepping stone that a championship team needs to go through. This is like going to Boston.
Me?
Let me finish, Shep.
Me?
This is like going to Boston when you know you have a better team than the Celtics, but they get in your head and they get you to throw the ball inbounds underneath to DJ, stolen by DJ underneath to Bird. These are the things like 88 going to play and getting the. I'm telling you, man.
No,
this.
it isn't.
All right, you can have your opinion.
You know what?
I'm gonna tell you
I
my
will
opinion.
say this.
This is a moment that they go and they get beat by the best team this decade in the NFL.
That's it, but they're not
They
the
get
best team
outsmarted,
now. They're not the best team
Why?
now.
Because they're 3-3.
No.
They won the Super Bowl last year, Shep. They got 3 of the last 5.
They don't have the same
Super Bowls.
personnel.
I'm going to tell you
What
right now.
difference does it
I'm
make
going to tell you right
okay,
now.
so Philadelphia's the
That
best
is going
team.
and-
Philadelphia's the
and
best team,
playing
everybody.
a Lakers team
Have
that
a
you're
good
better
day.
than. but
Forget
they
the
beat
NFL
you.
season.
Going to
Philadelphia
Boston,
won the
playing
Super Bowl,
a
so they
team
gotta
that's
be the better team.
That you're better than, but they beat you. We were better than Kansas City.
Might be the
and they
dumbest
beat us.
logic I've heard.
Hey, you can call me dumb, but it's my opinion.
And you know what? Every Lion right now is in their locker room. Here's what they're doing. They're going, you know what? Damn it.
Yeah, and
Brian
they're going to
Branch,
learn from what
he
happened.
punched him. He
this
punched
is,
him, man.
This is a
We're gonna
grown
blow up.
moment.
This
is
is it.
Are you want to win in the Central Division? You want to win the North Division, or do you want to be in a fucking Super Bowl? That's what it comes down to. This one. Shout out Fox 2. My apologies. You can call me dumb, Shep, but I've watched moments like this turn teams that are aspiring to be champions into champions. Period.
Yeah, they came into champions. Oh, that was a big move, man. Big move in the
But
championship.
Riley Green's a superstar, right, Shep? Riley Green's a superstar.
Never said that.
Okay.
I didn't.
Look, I will
I
say
said he's a
this.
two-time All-Star. I never called him a superstar.
man.
I think the
I
final-
reserve superstar status for very few players. So you've been caught. That is dead wrong. And anybody who listens to this,
I'll pull the
watches this,
receipts.
you know damn well.
I'll pull the receipts.
I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it.
I will say this. His safety mate back there, he's a guy that often you hear players crying about his play, but he finds a way to not get suspended. He finds a way to
The
not get
referees.
thrown out of games. He finds ways to not get fined.
referees.
And
Finds
that's
ways
what
to
I wanna
make
say.
opponents
He's
fear him.
He's still, yeah, that's what I'm
He
saying.
might
He's
get
still
fined
a
though,
bad
Kool-Aid.
boy.
He might get fined too.
Sometimes he might catch
No,
a
after
fine,
what he
yeah.
said last
Oh,
night, he's probably going to get fined.
Oh, yeah, if you see his social media feed, he's definitely getting fined.
Yeah.
He's
probably getting suspended.
Yeah.
But in terms of
I don't
playing
think he'll
on the
get
field,
suspended.
he's largely been, by the league's standard, a clean player. And that's where we got to see Brian Branch get to. Dan Campbell called it what? Controlled fury, that controlled octane. Like, that's where Branch has to get this thing.
Yeah.
To be able to stay on the field, because you know what? You called out the Chiefs' game plan. So you know who would have been frustrated? Brian Branch. That's a game plan to just straight up discombobulate him and Jack Campbell. If you have no secondary back there, you can say we can test them, but then we have to deal with their first 2 layers of defense.
Yeah, Jack Campbell handled himself no problem. Brian Branch has now what is happening now is you build a reputation.
Yeah.
And whether we like it or
go
not,
at him now.
whether we like it or not, and we don't like it, but the NFL referees, they have long memories. If you don't think Terrion Arnold had some type of reputation for being a little sticky, you would be incorrect. And that's probably why they target him a little bit. If you don't think Brian Branch has built himself a reputation pulling a Packers helmet off and throwing it, giving the double bird to Lambeau Field, and now that's where you have to be careful. You got to be really careful when that stuff.
Dominican Sue didn't have a reputation.
Come on.
That's surprising too, because I could have sworn they won a championship. All right, when we come back, we'll get to the Lions game from last night and some of the egregious errors that were made and why you can legitimately think that the Lions, yes, to Anson's point, are still the best team in the National
Yes, sir.
Football League.